Good day all and welcome to this module where we'll be talking about hand hygiene and its importance, how to use PPE, donning and doffing of PPE, and also how to safely dispose of wastes. Hand hygiene and its importance. Before we delve into high-tech and complex strategies for infection control, let us discuss a basic yet powerful tool, hand hygiene. Hand hygiene is arguably the single most effective, least expensive, and vital measure to reduce the transmission of healthcare-associated infections. It is the basic and yet the easiest way to prevent infections from happening at all. It is the simple yet effective act of cleaning and disinfecting your hands to prevent the spread of germs, pathogens, and infectious diseases. It plays a crucial role in reducing infections, as many diseases can be transmitted through dirty hands. By following proper hand hygiene protocols, we can significantly minimize the risk of infections in various environments, including healthcare settings. Why is it so crucial? It is essential and important as it offers the simplest and most effective defense against spreading infections and diseases. Our hands continuously come in contact with various surfaces and objects that contain harmful germs. By thoroughly and completely washing our hands with soap and water or using hand sanitizers, we can eliminate these pathogens and significantly reduce the risk of spreading infections and contracting infections. A lot of people may not see the need for washing hands regularly or following the 7 steps in hand washing technique, but it is a very crucial part of our lives because not only does it prevent us from having infections, it also reduces the spread of infections to other people. Right way to wash hands. We are going to be looking at the right ways and the steps in hand washing. 1. Wet hands with clean running water, warm or cold. 2. Apply soap and rub hands together to create a lather. 3. Scrub all surfaces, including the back of hands, between fingers and under nails for at least 20 seconds. 4. Rinse hands thoroughly and dry using a clean towel or a dry. Notes: hand disinfection with alcohol-based hand rubs requires a different procedure, ensuring all hand parts are covered and rubbed until dry. Let us watch the following video. Hand hygiene in healthcare. Healthcare professionals should perform hand hygiene 1. Before patient contact. 2. Before any clean or aseptic procedure. 3. After the risk of exposure to body fluids. And finally, after contact with patient surroundings. Challenges in hand hygiene. 1. Compliance. Despite its importance, hand hygiene compliance rates in healthcare facilities can sometimes be low due to a variety of reasons, including lack of time, resources, or simple forgetfulness. A lot of individuals are guilty of this. Many of them, lack of time, and the rest of the population is simple forgetfulness. 2. Skin irritation. Frequent hand washing or use of certain hand disinfectants can lead to skin irritation or allergies for some individuals. Promoting hand hygiene. Effective strategies to promote hand hygiene include 1. Education and training for healthcare workers. Healthcare workers should be enlightened about the importance of hand hygiene and what it can do for them. 2. Reminders in the workplace, like posters and indicators. These reminders help many forgetful workers to wash their hands on daily basis. 3. Access to necessary resources like sink, soap, and hand rubs. These should be made available at the nearest places for all workers so that they don't have any excuse as to why they could not wash their hands. 4. Feedback on hand hygiene compliance and related outcomes. Not only should we train and educate them and provide the resources for them to wash their hands, we should also ask them daily whether they washed their hands and what happened so far since they began to wash their hands daily. This will help them and give them a reason why they should take hand washing seriously. Personal protective equipment usage. In healthcare setting, professionals constantly face risk from harmful biological agents that can endanger their health. To safeguard against these dangers, they rely on personal protective equipment. This vital gear protects against infections and creates a safer environment for patients and healthcare workers. What is PPE? This refers to wearable equipment that protect healthcare workers from getting infected and prevents patients from acquiring infections. It is a barrier between infectious materials and the skin, mouth, nose, or eyes. The PPE is very important as it protects and prevents infections from being contracted by workers or individuals as a whole. Types of PPE and their usage. 1. Gloves. Gloves protect hands from contamination. They are commonly used during procedures that involve contact with blood, body fluids, mucous membranes, or broken skin. 2. Aprons or gowns. These provide barrier protection, preventing contamination of clothing and skin. The type of gown used depends on the anticipated exposure and procedure. 3. Mask and respirators. Mask protects against large droplets, sprays, or splashes, while respirators, such as 95, offer protection against airborne particles and are used during aerosol generating procedures. 4. Face shields and goggles. These protect the mucous membranes of the eyes from splashes or sprays of infectious material. 5. Hair and shoe covers. They reduce the risk of environmental contamination. 6. Face piece respirators. They are used in situations with high airborne contamination risk. Donning and doffing PPE. Technique is crucial. 1. Donning, which means putting on PPE. Let us watch the following video.
Drop that shit, DJ OJ.
Doffing, taking off PPE. 1. Ensure you don't touch the outside of the gloves with your bare hands. 2. Remove from the back by lifting the headband. 3. Unfasten ties and pull away from the neck and shoulders. 4. Remove from behind without touching the front. 5. Always finish with hand hygiene after removing all PPE. Let us watch the following video.
So the first thing we take off is our gloves because they're the most soiled, right? So they're the first thing to come off. In the real world, I would probably take my gown and my gloves off together. However, NHA, for their testing purposes, they have questions about how you take gloves off. And that's how they do that. They say take gloves off first. So that's what we're going to do, okay? So I'm going to take my gloves off first. How you do that is you grab from the palm of your non-dominant hand. So like I'm right-handed, so I'm grabbing my left. And I'm going to roll that up there. And then I'm going to, underneath the cuff, grab that way and take these off, okay? Because my cuff was covered with my gloves. And then is my gown. Again, I would have my hair cut back, but when you take the gown off, you'll reach behind and untie or break. I like to break. And you grab underneath this part and pull down and roll it away from you. Like this, and then you would dispose. And then the last thing you would take off would be your mask. You grab behind your ear and you would take it off this way.
When and where to use PPE. Always use PPE when there is an anticipated exposure to blood or body fluids. Assess the risk before choosing the appropriate level of protection. In settings like isolation rooms, where patients with contagious diseases are housed, and during procedures like intubation or when handling contaminated instruments. Proper disposal of infectious wastes. Healthcare management is vital for both cleanliness and infection control. Within the healthcare sector, proper disposal plays a critical role in preventing the spread of infection and safeguarding our environment. When not managed effectively, infectious waste can become a breeding ground for microorganisms that pose health risk to humans. Therefore, prioritizing waste management promotes public health and protects our surroundings. What is infectious waste? Infectious waste encompasses waste that can potentially transmit diseases to individuals who come into contact with it. Such waste may originate from various sources, including hospitals, clinics, and laboratories. Generally, infectious waste are everywhere. Every place where you see heap of dirt harbor all kinds of microorganisms and are very harmful to the human body. We are going to be looking at the different waste you can see around. 1. Sharp waste. This includes needles, scalpels, and other devices that can cause cuts or punctures. Proper disposal is critical to prevent accidental needle sticks and the spread of infections. 2. Laboratory waste. This involves specimens of microorganisms, cultures, and waste from infected animals, often generated in research or medical laboratory settings. 3. Pathological waste. This pertains to human tissues, organs, fluids, and body parts arising from medical procedures to autopsies. Safe disposal is crucial to avert disease transmission. 4. Pharmaceutical wastes. This includes expired, unused, or contaminated vaccines and drugs. Proper disposal prevents unintended consumption and environmental contamination. Handling, segregation, and disposal. 1. Handling waste. When dealing with infectious waste, it is imperative to wear the appropriate personal protective equipment to ensure safety. Minimize handling of this waste to reduce the chances of exposure and potential spread of contaminants. Disposing of waste is important, yet it is also important to safeguard yourself from infections and contaminants. Waste segregation. Segregate infectious waste from non-infectious waste right at each source to prevent cross-contamination. Employing color-coded containers or bags is a recommended approach between the various kinds of waste, ensuring efficient and safe disposal. So, even in waste handling or waste disposal, segregation or selection is very important. Now, let us look at the implications of improper waste disposal. Improper disposal can lead to 1. Spread of infections and diseases among the community. 2. Soil and water contamination of sources. 3. Injury to healthcare workers, waste handlers, and the public from sharps. 4. Air pollution from the release of harmful substances during incineration. We can see how harmful improper disposal of waste is to not only ourselves but to everyone around us. So ensuring proper disposal of waste is very, very important. In the intricate realm of infection control, our immediate environment, where we touch, sit, and often come in contact, is pivotal. Pathogenic microorganisms can survive on surfaces for hours to days and sometimes even longer. Consequently, these surfaces can act as reservoirs, potentially leading to disease transmission. Environmental cleaning. This is the physical process of removing dirt, debris, and a large number of microorganisms from surfaces, usually using water and detergent. Disinfection. This is the process of using chemicals or physical methods to kill or deactivate pathogenic microorganisms or inanimate surfaces and objects. These are just certain ways we can remove pathogens from our homes and furnitures. Waste disposal methods. 1. Incineration. This method burns infectious waste at high temperatures, destroying most of the pathogens. The residue, though reduced in volume, still needs to be disposed of safely. 2. Autoclaving. This process employs pressurized steam to disinfect specific types of infectious waste. By subjecting the waste to elevated temperatures and pressures, microbes are neutralized. 3. Chemical treatment. Effective for liquid infectious waste, where chemicals are used to kill the microorganisms. Careful handling and proper disposal of the chemically treated waste are paramount. During incineration, it is proper to know that incinerators should not be kept around where people stay. 4. Encapsulation. This involves enclosing the waste in containers and filling them with a solidifying substance before disposal. This containment prevents the escape of pathogens, thereby reducing the risk of contamination. 5. Land disposal. This can include sanitary landfills or burial, necessitating stringent precautions. It's imperative to ensure that the buried waste doesn't leach into water sources, as this could lead to contamination and the potential spread of disease. The management of infectious waste is crucial in controlling infections. It ensures the safety of healthcare workers, patients, and the wider community. By implementing a well-structured disposal system and providing education and training, we can significantly reduce the risk associated with infectious waste.